From some men, you learn what to do. From some men, you learn what not to do. And from some, you learn both. And the same goes for women. There are things that we can learn from the Pilgrims as we celebrate this Thanksgiving weekend that are good things. And there are some mistakes that they made that we can learn from. As I mentioned before the break, when they signed the Mayflower Compact, they landed, they tried to build their little community. They said everyone was going to hold all things in common. Everything. All work was going to be in common. It proved a disaster. People were starving, literally. And so Governor Bradford got together with some of the elders of the community, and they had some long and very intense discussions. And they decided that they were going to allow families to own property and plant their own corn and get their own harvests to take care of their family, because everyone was starving anyway. I'm going to let him speak for himself. Now, on TV, people say it's not a good idea to read a long passage. Normally, I agree. But some things are so good that they deserve a full hearing. So read along on your screen. I'll interrupt myself, make a comment here and there. This is what happened after they said you can go ahead and have property and plant your own corn and take care of your own family instead of everyone doing it together in a communal communist manner. This was very successful. It made all hands very industrious, so that much more corn was planted than otherwise would have been by any means the governor or any other could devise, and saved him a great deal of trouble and gave far better satisfaction. The women now went willingly into the field and took their little ones with them to plant corn, while before they would allege weakness and inability, and to have compelled them would have been thought great tyranny and oppression. The failure of the experiment of communal service, which was tried for several years and by good and honest men. Now, think about this. They gave us the Mayflower Compact. They loved God. They feared God. They risked their lives to serve God in this howling wilderness and to raise their children in the faith. Well, what they understood was that the faith was more than just believing in the Trinity and when you're baptized and the scriptures being inspired by God, etc. That the Christian faith and the laws of God actually apply to 6 days shalt thou labor and the 7th day rest. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods. If everything is in communal ownership, you can't covet anything that anyone else has because everyone owns it all and nobody owns anything. Do you understand that elements of the laws of God in the Mosaic law in great detail in Exodus and Leviticus and Deuteronomy deals with private ownership of property, of real estate, of items. I continue. The failure of the experiment by good and honest men proves the emptiness of the theory of Plato and other ancients, applauded by some of later times, that the taking away of private property and the possession of it in community by a commonwealth would make a state happy and flourishing, as if they were wiser than God. See, what happened was the Pilgrims realized that they thought they were wiser than God. Do you understand, friends, that God actually has laid out certain things about property ownership? You can't even lose your property under biblical law to bankruptcy. It's held by your debtor, or the person who holds your debt, for a number of years and then reverts back to your family. The private possession of real estate is central to Mosaic law regarding liberty. I continue. For in this instance, community of property, so far as it went, was found to breed much confusion and discontent and retard, that means slow down, much employment, which would have been to the general benefit and comfort. For the young men who were most able and fit for service objected to being forced to spend their time and strength in working for other men's wives and children without any recompense. I'm not trying to be unkind, but don't you see how this is exactly what's happening today? People are working hard and they're not retaining the fruit of their labor. It's being given to other people. They tried it. It failed. and it's going to fail again now. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to read the rest of what he said and make a couple more comments about this Thanksgiving. I hope that you're enjoying this. You're going to be smarter when it's over, if nothing else. Mabel, do I look smarter to you? Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today.